Ever feel like you're sprinting on a treadmill, pouring in the effort, the hours, the sheer grit, only to look around and realize that you haven't moved? What if I told you that the problem is not the hustle, your strategies, or even your talents or skills? What if the real barrier, obstacle, is actually invisible, running silently in the background, dictating the limits of what's possible for you? You are out there trying to build an empire on an operating system designed for a hut. You've outgrown your mind's current software, but you have not installed the upgrade yet. Today, we are not just going to be talking about mindset tweaks. We're going to go much deeper. We are going to unmask the mental cages silently dictating your reality. And by the end, I'm going to share with you a powerful 4-step framework that's going to help you architect your next evolution. Deep down, you know that you are capable of so much more. So much more. That vast potential you sense, it's real. But there is this default self, the one meticulously assembled from a lifetime of approval sought, performance delivered, traumas endured, and lessons hopefully learned. And this default self, it's got a magnetic pull, constantly yanking you back to the familiar, back to the safe. Even when the vision screams for the extraordinary, it keeps yanking you back to the same old. This is not about laziness on your part. So don't you dare call it that. This is actually a profound internal friction. Your brilliant future self constantly colliding with an identity anchored in your past. These are not just some fleeting negative thoughts. These are belief level barriers. So, how do we then break these chains and rewrite your internal code? At Mountain of Inspiration, we use the E.D.G.E method. 4 steps to recalibrate your identity and ignite your personal revolution. First, you become an archaeologist of your own mind. You listen for the whispers from your old programming. You listen for things like the shoulds, the can'ts, the that's just the way things are around here, or the that's just the way I am. And you ask yourself hard questions. What am I unconsciously accepting as an absolute truth around here? And you go on to unearth it and name it. Next, you put that belief on trial. Where this particular belief originates? A well-meaning parent? A well-meaning teacher? A well-meaning older brother or sister? Or a painful past failure that society sold you? Get to a place where you crucially ask, was this belief designed to protect my past self or to empower my future self? Most often, it's the former. This is now where you become an architect. By asking yourself powerful questions such as, what liberating truth will the most evolved version of me operate from? And from this type of question, you are not just thinking some kind of positive thoughts. You are replacing a survival-based script for a sovereign script that's going to empower you to become the best version of yourself. You are replacing a survival-based script with an expansive truth. Then you speak it, you anchor it, and you get to rehearse it, especially when the pressure seems to mount. Here's the thing. A new belief without a corresponding new behavior is just a nice idea. Because at the end of the day, this new belief, you must find a way to forge it into reality. You must find a way to translate it into your daily actions. Don't just affirm rest is productive. No. Find a way instead to cancel the unnecessary meeting. Find a way to block out recovery times on a day-to-day basis. And as the brilliant, slightly edgy advice goes, watch yourself not die. Approve the new belief with your daily choices. Let's look at someone who has actually embodied this transformation on a monumental scale. Leila Ormozi. Early in her incredible journey, she operated under a powerful limiting belief. If I show too much of myself, I will lose respect. This belief, born from past experiences, caused her to operate more quietly, often in the background, dimming her own lights, because she did not want to, quote and unquote, lose respect. But that belief had a ceiling. It capped her influence, it capped her reach, and it kept her at a particular level where she did not belong. So, what did she do? She didn't just go out there to acquire more skills. She didn't just go out and work harder. She found a way to rewire herself and rewire more specifically all these beliefs. She consciously chose to show up fully and more authentically. And ultimately, she built an empire rooted in this unapologetic truth. And now, she gets to co-lead one of the most respected empire in the business growth world. She didn't fundamentally change her tactics first. She evolved her belief infrastructures, her internal operating system, the internal dialogue that was causing her to simply stay in the background. And as she did that, the external reality became compelled to follow. So, the profound shift, the real personal evolution, it will not begin with another productivity hack or some fleeting burst of motivation. No. It will begin when you will give yourself permission to boldly confront all your outdated beliefs. It will begin when you intentionally replace all these limitations with deeply aligned truths. And it will solidify when you prove all those new truths through congruent or consistent embodied actions. Remember the edge. Expose the hidden belief. Deconstruct the outdated logic. Generate a new, empowering internal law. And embody it through decisive actions. You will not evolve by pushing harder within the confines of the old programming. No, my friend. You will evolve by courageously upgrading your entire operating system and taking consistent or congruent actions as far as these new truths or these new laws are concerned. The masterpiece of your life is waiting to be unveiled. But you will not be able to paint it with a brush that is still dipped in the limitations of your yesterday. Because this is not just about the next level results. It's about next level you. The version of you that doesn't just dream bigger, but believes bigger, acts bigger, and is bigger. The question is not whether you have internal mental cages. We all do. The question is, are you ready to pick the lock? If you are really ready to stop tweaking the old locks, the old programming, the old software, and get to install an entirely new operating system for your ambition, for your impact, and for your life, then I invite you to explore the Ascent protocol. This is where we go beyond theory, beyond behavior tweaks, and dive deep into the art and science of belief level rewiring. This is where evolution becomes your new identity. So to begin this journey right now, download your free evolution audit right now. Your first step towards identifying all these invisible chains and barriers within your mind. The world does not need another version of who you have been. It's waiting for who you are becoming. So it's time to unchain the genius. Click the link and let's begin. Much love.